Everyone thinks bubbles are obvious in hindsight. They're not. People living inside them genuinely believe prices will keep climbing forever. Here's the thing about a bubble: it's not fraud or stupidity. It's what happens when too many people agree on a story about the future, and that agreement itself becomes the reason prices climb. Think of it like this. You go to the grocery store and milk costs $3. Tomorrow it costs $4. You might buy less milk. But what if everyone around you started saying milk will cost $10 next month? Suddenly, even at $4 it looks cheap. So you buy extra. Your neighbor does too. The store raises prices because demand's crazy. And just like that, the story made itself true until it didn't. Exhibit 1, the Dutch Tulip Mania, around the 1630s. Tulips had just arrived in Europe from Asia and they were exotic. Some developed these striped, flame-like patterns, nobody knew why. Collectors went wild. Prices for a single rare bulb reached the cost of a house. People traded land, property, entire estates for bulbs. Then suddenly people stopped believing the story. Prices collapsed. Within months, those priceless bulbs were nearly worthless. The bulbs hadn't changed, only the belief had. Exhibit 2, the dot-com bubble of the late 1990s. The internet was new. Investors believed any company with a dot-com address would revolutionize retail. Webvan promised to deliver groceries to your door, an idea ahead of its time. The company never turned a profit. It lost hundreds of millions. But its stock soared anyway because the story was intoxicating, the future. When investors finally asked, wait, how do they actually make money? The spell broke, Webvan collapsed, dozens of internet companies followed. Exhibit 3, the 2008 housing crisis. Banks had convinced themselves that house prices would never fall, so they lent money to anyone, even people with no income. Those risky loans got bundled into investment products and sold worldwide. Everyone from pension funds to foreign banks owned pieces of these mortgages. The story was simple. Real estate always goes up. Until it didn't. When people couldn't pay their mortgages, the entire chain collapsed. The belief that kept prices high evaporated overnight. So what's really happening? A bubble forms when the price of something becomes disconnected from its actual value. The gap grows because everyone's making money on the way up: traders, sellers, even ordinary people. There's no incentive to ask hard questions. The story feels unbreakable. But stories, by definition, can change. And when enough people stop believing at the same moment, prices don't just fall, they plummet. The mechanics are always the same. Rising prices attract new believers drive prices higher, prices eventually outpace reality, confidence cracks, panic sells, collapse. It's happened dozens of times across centuries and markets. And it'll happen again because human nature doesn't change. We're wired to see patterns, follow crowds, and believe in tomorrow, especially when today looks profitable. Understanding bubbles isn't about predicting the next one. It's about recognizing how prices actually work. They reflect belief, not just scarcity. When a price seems too high, ask yourself what story people are telling. When that story stops making sense, that's when things get interesting. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe to keep learning how money and markets actually work without the hype. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.